failure really is the best way to learn a skill, to learn what you do want to do, what you don't want to do, who you are as a person.
Mhm.
Are you someone that quits? One of the best things in my life was like failing, not getting those teaching jobs, and like realizing that like I was like, I'm going 100% at this thing that I don't even know I want to do.
Right.
Right. Same thing with like the election. Like I was like, okay, we're doing this.
Right.
So we're going to do it 100%. I didn't have that confidence in myself until I failed at things.
Right.
It was when I realized like I do have a beast in there that I didn't even know about, like that I started to get confident in myself. You know what I mean? So like be okay with failing. Don't feel like you have to figure out or have everything figured out by the time you're 20. It's okay. But that doesn't mean do nothing and wait for everything to fall together. Momentum is important. Like be out there doing stuff.
Young Drunk!
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Path to Possible. Today, we have a fantastic guest, Bob Smythe. Bob, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You got
Pleasure.
it. Hey, looking forward to hearing your path. I know you have a lot going on that you were... Yeah. I'm going to let you start where you want to.
I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah.
I got a weird path, I guess you would say. Yeah, path.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Hey, I'm sure a lot of aspiring people like your students would love to know what type of path that is possible to still become successful.
Yeah, thanks. And again, thanks for having me on. I really admire what you're doing here. I think it's great. I think
Thank you.
I think one thing that I really like about what you're doing, just like talking about presenting the path and like what's possible and what's what is success and those types of questions. I think it's really important for young people because I think things are a little different now in society, and the options or the limitation on paths that are presented to young people. It's kind of like especially when you're in high school, it's kind of like you go to college. You got to go to a 4-year college. And it doesn't even matter what you're going for. You got to go to a 4-year college, and then it's like
you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Like then blank equals success,
right?
And then I think the part of the problem with like a lot of the frustration on the part of young people is like they do all that. It's like I did the stuff, right? I went to high school, I did what you told me to do. I went to college, I did what you told me to do, and now I can't get a job, or I have a job and I got all these loans, and I don't feel this is not what I would pictured, what I was sold. And so I think it's like, it's great to give young people the opportunity to see like there are different options and lessons learned. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So where people that went down the path.
Where did you start?
I mean, how far are we?
I was going to say, I mean, obviously you're teaching high school, right?
Yeah.
So let's start there, right?
Okay. Like getting into education.
Yeah. Like, was there a teacher that got you to go like, hey, you obviously bit into the whole college aspect, the business realm.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So
get a job, work forever, and then retire.
Yeah. Yes. No, and we talked previously when we were coming in, growing up, and it goes to what I was saying about like lack of options. Like when I was growing up and I was in high school, I wasn't a good student.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't a kid that got in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
My friends all got in trouble all the time. But I was the one that hung out with the guys that got in trouble that kind of didn't. But I didn't do well in school. I struggled. I had a bunch of learning disabilities really up until high school. When I got to high school, I tested out of most of them. But I really struggled academically. I was maybe, I don't know, C- B student in school.
That's good.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, not
it's
like
better than me.
a lot of people, a lot of people that go into education though, it's like, they're really good at it. Right. And it's like what they're, so they from a very young age, like, this is what I'm good at. Like, I'm good at academics.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a career that lines up with what I'm good at. That was not me. Right. And I actually think that a lot of times, some of the people that are the best educators are not the best we're not the best students. Mm-hmm. Just like, the best cops are a little bit outlaw, right? That type of thing. So, yeah, I wasn't, but I didn't have a ton of options that I was aware of, that I saw as a young person. My father was a cop,
mm-hmm.
And, he also fancied himself a carpenter. His father, my grandfather, who I never met, was a carpenter. He passed when my dad was like 11 or 12 or something. So my father quickly became the man of the house, and he went into police work because when he graduated high school, like that was a job in town that you could get, without going to college or anything, and you could, get a salary. So he just did that because that was there because
Right.
he had to support his family. So I grew up in a house where he was a cop and involved in the fire department. And so when I was a kid, I was exposed to cops, firemen, carpenters, right, masons, like people in the trades, and then teachers, right. I can swing a hammer, but not that good.
Mm,
So I wasn't going to do that. That's not where my skill set is,
okay.
right? No matter how much I tried,
Right.
wasn't for me. I wanted to go into the police department. Both of my parents were very much against that.
Mm,
And we made a deal that I would go to college. And then, once I finished college, if I still wanted to go in the police department, that's what I would do. And I was like, all right, well, I'll just do this to make you guys happy. And then I'll go to the police academy. And so it was like, what are you going to go to college for? And I remember like having the application and being like, I mean, I don't even know what jobs, you know what I mean? Like I'm not,
There's 600 majors on this list. You want
I'm
me to
like,
just pick
I
one
don't even
now?
know what these things are. And I'm looking at it like, well, they don't want me to be a cop. There's no fireman certificate, college degree. There's no carpenter college degree at, the colleges that I was looking at. And, I'm not good at that anyway. So it was like, I mean, I could probably be a teacher. Like this is the only other profession I knew.
Right.
So I kind of picked that because I was like, I could do that. I could be good at that. And when I got to college, I realized that I did have kind of a knack for it. And I also realized how I went for history, which it was like the one subject I was good at.
Are you a history teacher?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
And I couldn't teach math. I couldn't teach my way out of a wet paper bag in like a math or a science class.
Do they still teach American politics in
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
history? Okay.
Yeah, like civics classes and stuff.
Yeah, all
100%.
right. So it's called civics still.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I went for history because I thought I could maybe pass those tests. And when I got there and realized like how many, I went to Westchester.
Okay.
And when I got there and realized how many of the kids that I was going to college with, like, couldn't even tell you who fought in the Civil War. And I was like, oh man, I'm actually a lot better at this than I thought. And then also just kind of shocked, like the lack of education that so many kids in college had about history. I was like, this is important. I could do this. Wasn't a great student it took me a while to kind of figure out college. But I got through it. And when I finished, I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the police academy. But like, I just spent all this time and energy, like doing this teaching thing. So like, I'm going to do the teaching thing just to show myself and everyone else that I can do it. And then I'll go to the police academy. And that's what started this like kind of almost, it was like an ego thing that I never went obviously to the police academy because when I graduated college in 2010, December of 10, the teaching marketplace is very different than it is today. There weren't a lot of teaching jobs, right? It was real hard to get teaching jobs, particularly history jobs, because it's still one of the hardest jobs to get in education because it's not a tested subject and it's typically male dominated, and a lot of times they do it until they die.
I was gonna say there always
yeah.
seemed to be like every history teacher I ever had always
They're
seemed
up
to
there.
be like 80.
Yeah, they're up there.
And
So like once they get in, they're locked in, right?
Yeah.
So it was real tough to find a job. So it became this thing where it's like, I'm gonna get a job. Like I'm not gonna. And I watch people that I graduated with like go on to other stuff, like just kind of. I don't want to say give up, because that's an incorrect, assumption. But like go and do something else because it was really hard to do. But I was like, no, I'm not. I just put all this effort in. Like I'm gonna do it. And then I would get a job and I'd be like, okay, well, I'm here now. Well, now I got to be the best, before I'm not going to, hang it up and have just done it. Like I got to prove to myself, like I am really capable of this.
Now, is it false that a lot of people go into it for the summers off?
No, yes and no.
Okay.
I think that's a huge um attraction for
Yeah.
a lot of people. I mean, it's like any other. So working in education, it's a civil service job just like any other, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's cops, firemen, nurses, I think there's a lot of crossover in terms of like what gets people into it. For some people, it's the family business,
Yeah.
right? If you grow up in a household where there's, your parents are teachers, like it's that's not different than your parents are in business, but
No.
when it's like a service thing, you kind of grow up in this house where um, purpose in your career is a little bit more important than money in a sense, like that type of
Absolutely.
ideology. I'm not saying that that's what I agree, what personally that's what I believe,
Right.
but not saying that's what's best.
But
Some people grow up with that. Yeah.
when you got into this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're just like me. When we had no idea there was so much politics in school system,
Nah.
we had no clue.
Nah.
Like it was like go to
No.
work, be a teacher.
Yeah.
And you never knew. Like the teachers, sometimes you had a cool one, sometimes
Yeah.
you had an asshole,
Yeah.
sometimes you had like,
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. They're phoning it in. It's like
Yeah.
anything else. Yeah,
Right.
100%.
But I had no idea that there was so much political
No. And it's
bullcrap that you had to deal with.
It's way worse, in my opinion. It's all relative. It all depends on like where you are, and that's the one thing that's interesting about education. Like even if you look at the field, what people say it's like really is different depending on where they're working. And so like I've had a unique experience where I've worked in like really different places.
I was gonna say you started in Chester, right?
Yeah, started in Chester.
Okay.
Worked in the city of Chester for like 4
how was
years.
that? Because obviously you're not
Wild.
getting a lot of funding from the state.
Oh, no,
Like,
broke as a joke.
they don't want
No.
that school to succeed at all. It seems like.
Dude,
And I don't want you to talk bad about it,
No,
but
no.
the
No,
funding is where it comes
it's-
in.
The money thing in education is important, but it's a very complex conversation that I don't think most people understand. So first thing, money matters, right? Obviously, I've been in poor schools that were poor school districts, and I've been in school districts that had money,
Right.
and it's crazy the difference, right? And certainly like money matters, but I think in this society today we have an incorrect assumption that money kind of fixes all problems and solves everything.
Mhm.
And so like if you have a problem, just throw more money at it and it'll get better. And that's just not true. Some of the school districts in this country that spend the most money per student don't have have some of the worst outcomes. So money really matters up to a certain point, right? And then there's a lot of other things that go into it, right? Leadership and this type of stuff.
Is it the parents that are some of the biggest issues in the school districts, or is it the funding? Because if you throw more money at it, obviously, what more books, better computers,
Yeah. So money, like I said, money,
better programs.
yeah,
I don't know.
money definitely is important, right? And it's like it's a tipping point, right? If you have no money, and I've worked in schools that were really basically like struggling to pay the bills, right? Then the things that you can do and the things that you have access to are very limited, right? But when you get to a certain point where you have some option, you have some flexibility, right? We can pay our bills. We have enough staff. We're adequately staffed as a whole in the building, right? Not just having enough people, but having extra people so that when someone calls out, you have someone to put in there, that type of deal. From that point on, right? The difference that money makes, I don't think is as impactful as we think it is as a society, right? So in other words, like if you took, I don't know, let's just say like a Spring versus a Radnor, and you look at the difference in what they have budget wise, I don't know that the educational outcomes are that significant between the two, right? Even though that there's a lot more money over here than there's over here.
Right.
So there's a lot of other things that come into it. Like is where the kids are coming from, their home environment a factor? Absolutely, right? We know from research that's been done that one of the most important things for education in kids is like Are they being read to at home? Like what's going on in the house? Is education a priority and things like this? And yeah, that's huge. Unfortunately, in a lot of the places that I worked, single parent household, older siblings are raising younger siblings. So like there just isn't that opportunity. The kids aren't as exposed outside of the classroom to as much, academic stuff as in other environments. And so it makes what happens in the classroom all the more important. But yeah, I mean, is the culture of the community in terms of its focus on education important? Yeah. Everywhere I've worked, parents in the community think school is important. But what that looks like is different, right? And that's not to say that like when I worked in a Chester or wherever, the parents either cared or didn't care about school. And then like if I work in a more like affluent suburban community, the parents do care. And they're, one's a problem and the other isn't. That's not the case, right? The problems or the challenges from home are different, right? And they look different. But it's more like the understanding of what school is, what it's supposed to do, and what the opportunities are. And so, it's like, business. Like when you get into business, you could be really passionate about being successful in business. But if you don't know anything about finance or taxes or whatever, right? Yeah, myself included, right? It's a struggle, right?
Yes.
Like you could be like the biggest hustler in the world and be like, dude, I want to make money. And I believe that like deep in my soul.
Right.
And I believe you. But if you don't have all of this knowledge and understanding, like you don't really know what that means. And you're going to make mistakes that you aren't even conscious of.
Right.
So it's the same thing. And it kind of goes back to like what I was saying, it's all about like what you're exposed to. When I was growing up, it was cops, firemen, and carpenters. Yeah. I didn't realize you could go to school to be like a financial consultant. Yeah. And, I ask people what they do and they make, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And they explain to me what their job is. And I'm like, I don't understand. What do you do? No, but what do you do like on a daily basis? What is it? You're going to work tomorrow. What are you doing? And then, I'm like, I don't get it. So it's all like what you're exposed to, and your understanding of the possibilities of things. And so I think that's a huge part of it. And then, when you work in tough, environments, tough schools, there's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of turnover with the teachers. And there's a lot of turnover with leadership. That's probably one of the biggest problems.
I can see that.
It's like, the easiest way I can explain it is like, think about an NFL team, right? You get a head coach, like look at the teams that are stuck in this endless loop that can't ever seem to break out of it. They have a coach. He's like, this is what we're going to do. We're running like a West Coast offense. Yeah. And you start drafting players and you're building towards that, not really having a lot of success. Everybody gets frustrated. We can that guy. We bring the next guy and he's like, we're running Power I. And it's like, dude, we just spent 3 years building a team for what, now you're trying to take a West Coast built team and run the Power I. It's not going to work. No. And then we can that guy after 3 years and we bring someone new in. So that cycle I think is a huge part of it. But the problem is it's a lot easier to just say like, we just need more money. And there isn't a lot of accounting for like, well, what are you doing with the money that you have?
It breaks my heart. So me and my wife were reading about, like in our town, Springfield, the high school has this program for kids that the parents don't send them with lunch. And I'm like, we're not in a negative type of area. We're not in a really poor income house area. Right. But these parents still don't send their kids with lunch. And I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
What are we doing with the school system that even in this neighborhood, we're still predominantly middle class and we're still having an issue with kids bringing lunches to school.
Like don't have anything to eat.
Yeah. But I mean, they call it a healthy snack, which is like a Pop-Tart, which has, what is it? Red 7, yellow 40 and all that nonsense.
I saw when that started, when I first got into teaching, like in Chester and stuff, it was just breakfast. And then, I don't remember if we had lunch provided also, but then I know in other schools, like lunch became a thing where both were provided. And I saw when it started, like it really was actually healthy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't popular with a lot of, they're kids. Like,
I,
they want to eat Pop-Tarts and stuff.
I told my daughter, I said, you see a kid that doesn't have a lunch. I said, you go buy it for her.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
go
dude,
buy it for her.
listen, saddest thing is, like, I taught a lot of kids that were homeless.
Yeah.
And really didn't have anything.
That's wild.
It is. It's really, and then, like, you're taking that kid and it's like, you don't have a house, you're homeless, and it's like, but go to, like, school all day for 6 hours and, like, pay attention and don't be pissed off. Like, a lot of the kids I was teaching in a lot of the places I worked in my career were dealing with, like, real heavy stuff out at home or outside of school, stuff that, like, as an adult,
Right.
we would struggle with.
Yeah.
And they're 10, 12, 11, 13, 14, 15, whatever years old. And yet people just expect, like, hey, you got to be locked in. That's damn near impossible.
Do you see certain kids that fast track themselves to adulthood going through means like that?
In terms of,
being homeless and going to school and still trying to,
that, like,
yeah.
that like they lock in and
Well,
it's
they
like,
have to
yeah,
at that point.
absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
they're showing up to schools
Yeah.
if they don't have a home.
Oh yeah. I've seen kids, and this is the big thing I say to young people in every place that I've worked with. And this is a lesson that I've learned that one of the things that I really believe in about life is, like, any challenge that you're presented with, it's either going to make you better or make you worse. And it's real easy to say, but I still believe it. Like, that is where the choice is, right? How are you going to choose to use or respond to this situation? And when I was working in those environments, I would say to those kids, like, listen, what you're dealing with right now sucks. And it's unfair that you're this old and you have to deal with this stuff. And a lot of it has nothing to do with you. These are adults that made decisions or whatever, but it's on you. That sucks. But the good news is, if you can make the right choices and get through this, you're going to be like a tank when you get to adulthood. And when you're competing against kids who grew up in, a very affluent community, who've never had any hardship at all,
right?
Because mom and dad paid for everything. And, anytime there was any kind of adversity, they made it go away. Like, when those kids become adults and you're competing against them, and something in life, as you know, it always does, or business, like, goes wrong, they don't know what to do. Yeah. You're just going to smoke them.
Yeah.
And so, like, the good news for those kids in communities that are struggling, and I don't think this message gets sent enough, is, like, the people in this country are getting softer. I mean, agree, disagree?
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
100%.
And I feel bad because what you were just saying, the problem is that it's who and the people that come in, they get real pissed off, and then what they start doing is they start trying to badmouth your name to other people in the company, or or they go to the principal, or in your case, or the vice principal, and they're like, Mr. Smythe, I don't know about him. Did you see him talking to the one girl the other day?
Oh yeah. Well, that's
she had a disability, and let me do my job here. And it's like they could sit there and start a rumor, and that could really hurt your career.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Education stuff like that.
But because they didn't have somebody, or because they had people clearing up all their messes, they weren't able to power through different struggles. Right.
It's totally different understanding the world. Yeah. And I've seen, I've dealt with that. Like, I still struggle with that. Like, I would say I'm a competitive person, but the thing, and it sounds like, maybe you have a similar experience. Like, the thing that I still wrap my head around is, like, in situations like that, where you're in a workplace, or you're working on a project, or you're working on something, and we have a goal. And let's say maybe we're on the same team, or we're part of the same organization. I don't understand, like, it's the feast versus famine mindset. Like, I've always had the mentality of, like, everybody can eat.
Yeah.
There's enough for everybody.
Absolutely.
Right? And not in every situation, but, like, I don't understand the mentality of people that, like, do go around and kind of backstab their way to the top. I don't get that. Cause, like, I don't understand making enemies instead of friends, because eventually that's going to catch up with you.
In a couple episodes ago, dude I had on, Mike McDermott, he sat there and said, it's just business.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You're basically saying, I'm a jerk off and I
Yeah.
don't care about our relationship.
Right.
Anything to get to the top, because I can understand now, as you get older, you start to realize that there's only one thing that matters, and that's the inner circle of your family.
Mm.
You, your wife, your
Mhm.
kids, or however your family
Right.
dynamic is.
Right.
That's how it is.
Mhm.
And that's what they want,
Mhm.
right? They want the best for their family.
Mhm.
And then they get to sit there and tell their kids or their wives, like, I made it.
Right.
That's
Right.
it.
Right.
You know, we all strive to impress,
Mhm.
but that's not impression
Let
to
me
me.
ask you this, because I think I totally agree with what you're saying. Because I've thought about this a lot, because I don't it doesn't make sense to me, right? Like that type of mentality, like you were saying, like it's just business, right?
Right.
And him, I saw that in him saying, like, which dinged for me, like I don't want to be that. And I think there are things like that where we say, like, this is just business. That's just like he said, like that's just an excuse and a justification for being a jerk off.
Right.
I think in thinking about like why that is, why are people like that in professions or their life? I think part of it goes back to what I was saying, like go to college. Like we tell young people today, the most important thing is like go to college, go to a good college, go to the best college possible.
Mm.
And then you got to make the most money.
Mm.
Right. And it's like what's missing in this is like the how and the what. But the way that we communicate is like, doesn't even matter. Right. It's like, go to the best college possible for something that's where you're going to make a ton of money.
Right.
And I understand as a parent, like now, like, yeah, because money's important. That's the other part of this. Like this whole touchy feely, money doesn't matter, do whatever makes you feel good. That's total bullshit. Like money does matter.
Yeah.
And, you know, anyone who told you money doesn't buy happiness is full of shit. Right. What's that movie where Ben Affleck's like, money doesn't buy happiness? Look at my smile. Ear to ear, baby. Like, you know.
Boiler room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deep cuts.
Yeah.
Hashtag boiler room.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So but what I think, I believe that purpose is really important in people's lives, and a lot more for men. And I think we've gotten away from that. And I mean, what I mean by that is like, what is your purpose? You're going to pick a career and you're going to devote a lot of your time and energy. You only have so much time on this planet, right? 75 years, right? Let's say 75 summers, 75 winters.
I love that.
That'd be great, right?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's a good point. That'd be a good deal.
That'd be a great deal.
You got 75. How much out of that 75 are you going to spend working, right? If your only objective is making money and the process by which you make money doesn't matter, there's no mission there. The only mission is making money. Then to your point, like what becomes your purpose is status. And wealth is the accumulation of status and wealth, wealth, power, however you want to phrase it. And so I think that's what translates to that kind of backstabby, you know, because the goal is just the bank account. And I think why so many people fall into that is because they're doing things that don't have purpose, right? And you can be in business and have a purpose. And I would say that certainly some of the most successful people that I've studied in business, like the purpose is the business, right? Building a business, an empire. And they don't so much the money obviously is important. That's part of it. But the money facilitates the growth of the business, right? I'm building something here. I'm doing something. And whatever it is that you're doing, that has a purpose, right? Like, I don't know, I know everyone hates Elon now, but like that's like, he's the one that popped in my head. Like, I'm going to build a business of electric cars or rockets, right? And so like, yeah, he's the richest guy in the world, but like, he didn't focus on making money. It was like building those empires.
Yes.
And those things that he was building like served a purpose, right? Whether you agree with it or not. Like, he's like, we need to go to Mars. Like, it's all, he's doing something.
He's an engineer. Dude.
Yeah.
Like he loves engineering.
Right.
So
he's got a purpose.
He enjoys it.
Right.
You know, if I enjoyed something that much and I built that, okay, great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't like electric cars. I think they creep me
I
out.
don't like them either.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of them.
Nah.
But I love how you said purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and you're teaching young, aspiring people getting
Mm-hmm.
ready to go out into either college or the real world,
Mm-hmm.
how are you pushing purpose on them at that point? Because I'm 40 years old. I
Mhm.
still don't know my purpose.
I don't either.
You know what I mean?
I'm right there with you, bro.
Like, how do you put
It's hard.
if you I guess you kind of have to break it down to a certain day, or take a carpenter,
Mm-hmm.
right? All right. Well, our purpose today is to frame this house
Mhm.
this week and
Yeah.
get this rock and rolling for our
Right.
builder. Okay, that's our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get a family. All right, my
Mhm.
purpose is to put food on the table, keep the
Mhm.
kids fed,
Right.
and go coach baseball or softball or
Right.
whatever. That becomes a purpose.
Mhm.
Now you have a purpose there. Now in the career field, now all of a sudden your purpose changes. So now you have two purposes. One that you don't even know what you're doing. The other, you know exactly what you're doing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because once those kids come into your life, that's it. That
Mhm.
purpose all of a sudden is like,
Oh yeah, it's
I don't
wild.
want
Isn't it
any-
wild? It's wild.
I didn't want anything else.
Right.
The minute COVID happened, it was the best years of our lives
sad.
as a family.
To say, isn't it?
And you know what? Everybody's like, this is the scariest times of my life. Fuck
Yeah.
that, dude. We loved it.
Yeah.
We were traveling.
Yeah.
We had time at home with each
Yeah.
other. I got to see my kids grow up. And then the minute they started getting on that bus, I was
Mhm.
walking them down, throwing the ball with them, asking if she was scared. She was terrified.
Yeah.
And I was terrified for her.
Yeah.
And then she gets on and waves a big smile at
Yeah.
me and waves goodbye and gives me
Yeah.
one of those. And I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
I was like, man.
Are you? When you say you didn't want to go back to work, are you a guy that could you do nothing? Like if I gave you whatever the number is, $200 million.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't have $200 million to give you.
I wish you did.
If I did, I would.
Yeah. But no, I wouldn't.
Would you do nothing?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
As soon as those kids get on that bus,
Yeah.
I'm working.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go out and figure something out.
Right.
I might
Because
buy.
I couldn't. I'm the same way. Like I would lose my mind.
Yeah, I would start a venture capitalist,
Yeah.
and I would just
Do
start
something.
investing in dumb fucking businesses that
Right.
have no
Right.
that have no
Just
business.
gambling on businesses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
But that's a purpose.
I do 20, 19 suck, 1 hits.
Right.
There it is.
Right. And it's also
I'm bringing
like,
it back.
that's what I'm saying. Like, but do you think in your aspiration to do that, would it be because if that one hits, you're going to make money, like tons of money? Or is it because it's like, I'm giving people an opportunity that they otherwise wouldn't have to create something that might be important?
I would want to do what I wish somebody would have done for me.
Right. That's
like
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
that would be more of a selfish thing. And
But I don't think it is.
Well, I always say doing certain things like holding the door for somebody, that's a selfish thing. Giving somebody money, that's a selfish thing. It makes me feel good.
That's true.
I don't care what you feel. You can
That's
sit
true.
there and say thank you.
But
You're
that's
welcome.
okay.
Yeah, and I do it for myself. And it's like I said, it's
But
a
that's-
selfish thing.
I think that's part of being a responsible adult, is like finding out what things you're going to do selfishly that have benefit.
Right.
Right. Because there's lots of things you could do. You could buy yourself like a brand new Corvette. Right. I wouldn't fault you for that.
Right.
But or you can, I don't know, give somebody a leg up to start a business or whatever. Those are two, to your point, like both of them would be selfish, but one of them serves a greater purpose. Right.
Mhm.
So I think that's like, I agree with you. I think you can be selfish and it does make you feel better about yourself, but doing it in a way that provides some kind of service or serves something or
Right.
is building towards something. I think that's something that I think we live in a very like negatively selfish society right now, where I think young people are being conditioned like just in a way where it's like, just make money and just spend money and buy stuff. And it's like, that doesn't really lead to happiness.
These young bucks need to get smacked in the mouth.
They do.
Yeah.
There's also like I don't know how to phrase it. I know even if you have, I think we would benefit from more exposure, particularly for young boys, to like, groups of adult men besides just your father, like male bonding, male stuff. Like we don't, that's something that we used to have. Like there were,
Like Saved
we
by
have
the
the
Bell.
Lions Club.
No,
Yeah.
you got the Lions
Yeah.
Club.
But like, that's not really a thing anymore. It still exists in Springfield. Shout out
Yeah.
to the Lions Club. But like, is there, groups of guys that get together on
the
the
Cub
weekends?
Scouts,
And
right?
Cub Scouts,
Cub
could
Scouts,
be
right?
good. Like that type of thing. Cause I see it so in the fire department. So like I started a program 100 years ago where we started taking in younger kids to bring in more people because we saw the volunteer crisis coming. And one of the things I was like, we got to get them young, right? To have a shot, because by the time they get in high school and it's like lacrosse and football and stuff, like if we don't have them before that, we're
What
we're
was
cooked.
the drag in the volunteers from like the top age to the lower age? Because before, I remember going into high school, there was like 3 or 4 cats that would always have those pagers on them, and they would have the FD shirts on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's cool, man. I'm like, you get a pager.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, we were in high school. Like that was the only thing we had was pagers. And, if somebody had a cell phone, you're like, damn, dude, how much money do you make?
Right.
But I always thought that was pretty cool. But there was like 4 in the school.
Yeah.
Is there a gap, like a big gap between?
So right now we're doing pretty good in Springfield because we started this program 100 years ago and because we get kids in young. So like if you try and recruit high school kids, if you're trying to recruit kids at 15, 16 years old, you're competing against, you're in a noisy room. You're competing against lacrosse and all this other stuff. Yeah. And also like, why do kids play lacrosse? Like if we looked at, let's just take Springfield as an example. Like what do most of the boys in Springfield, most of the young men sign up for, right?
States.
Lacrosse. Yeah. Lacrosse, football, right? Why? Because they're awesome.
Yep.
Because Springfield's awesome at those things, but also like it's cool.
Yeah.
So, there's probably a million options, but those are I would estimate 2 of the top because it's cool, because it comes with like status. So like if you're competing against that and I'm like, hey, join the fire department. Yeah. It's tough to do both things. You might not be able to do all 3, right? And mine's not that cool. Right. So how do I build, and that's what it was. So how do I build that culture of, I have to make this something that has some kind of status that's cool, that kids know other kids do. So the only way that we saw to do that that I thought working with young people is like, I have to start out younger, right? When there aren't a lot of options. So now we go to 12, 13, you're 12 or 13. Yeah, you could say still play football and lacrosse, but like there's not that many other like clubs and things, not where you can get a shirt and like do some dangerous stuff. Right. We're treating you more maturely than you're used to. So we would get a lot of kids.
Now, if there was a fire, do they jump on with the helmets and the vest and the tanks and
they
stuff?
They're not allowed to wear the air pack. There's stuff that they're restricted, but they do go.
They can't go in the house.
They can't go in the house. They can't legally. They can't.
They're
go
hooking
in the
up
house.
the hoses.
Yeah, they're doing stuff outside.
They're getting you guys ready for the big
which is, dude, it's not as cool, right? It's certainly not as fun. But I mean, anyone that's been in, I'm sure the police department, the military, like the support jobs, are arguably more important than the frontline jobs, because if you're going to be the guy that's kicking the doors in and doing all the cool stuff, like cool, that's important, obviously. But like, if you don't have any of the stuff you need to do that, you can't do that. So yeah, I mean, they're critical. And we brought them in.
Are the volunteers the ones that are keeping those trucks so damn clean? I don't know how those things don't get rusted.
We actually had to stop washing them as consistently because we were like, dude, damaging the paint.
I honestly,
we were like
those things are just
the paint
shiny.
was fading from washing it.
The chrome is like perfect. I'm like, do they just? Do they get like a nice little hefty fund from the state to keep them like that?
It's just like, I don't even know how many hours I've spent washing them things. I could probably do in my sleep. But that's like, that goes
wax on, wax off.
That goes back to what I was talking about, like that kind of older male experience, whether you're getting it from your father or not, and hopefully you are, I'm sure your kids are, but not everybody has a father that's like imparting stuff like that on them. but sometimes even if you do have that, it's more impactful to just have, you go from your dad, who sometimes like it's your dad. You know what I mean? You remember like
Yeah.
he says stuff to you, especially when you get older, like in one ear out the other. It's my dad. But then you go and there's a group of adult men who are mentor type figures, right?
The same way.
And also like aren't putting up with your shit.
Yeah.
Right.
When I was 15, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, what the hell do you know?
Yeah.
You
And
don't
your
know,
dad,
you don't know how hard it is to be 15.
Right. Exactly.
So, I never got punished to my room.
Oh, dude.
Dude, you're outside.
Yeah.
I don't come back until 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it was rake leaves.
Yeah.
Or pick up sticks.
Yep.
Like that's what I do.
And that's how it is there.
My kids don't get banned to the room. They got TV. They got their pads. They got all the coloring books. They got all their toys.
Right. Yeah.
No, they go
in your room that we made awesome.
They pick up every little stick out in my yard.
Yeah.
And I took that from him and I loved it so much.
Yeah.
Because they're like, are we done yet? I'm like, are you done being assholes?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Did you learn the lesson?
You learn the lesson?
Yeah.
Right.
You'll know when you're done.
Right. Yeah.
I'll know when you're done.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you get that. I mean, that's certainly, there's a tradition in the fire service, right? And so like washing the trucks, like how many 12, 13-year-old kids are washing their parents' cars nowadays? None of them.
I know.
But
gas station.
Exactly.
A car wash.
If you
right
said
it,
if a lot of parents were like, I need you to go out and wash the car, the kids would be like, what are you talking about? But like when you come into the station, like, guess what? Here's a sponge.
I had to wash it.
Wash that truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, hey, someone's got here's a mop. Like, and times are different, but like I've had to show like almost all the 12, 13-year-old kids that we've had. And listen, boys and girls, like how to use a mop. Cause I'm like, the floor needs to get mopped.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know.
We had a guy start at the bakery.
Yeah.
And he's mopping, right? And he's going like this, but he's walking forward. So what he's mopping, he's walking in with his dirty ass shoes.
Right. It's just like, you're looking at it like, oh my God. But that's second nature to you, right?
Right.
Because when you were growing up, someone showed you that from probably a relatively young age, and you've known it for so long that to you, it's like, how could you not know that? Right.
How to sweep.
But like, dude, everything, and you learn it when you work in education, like everything we know is taught.
Right.
And we think in society, like there's stuff that you just know, and that's not the case. Like, and so if you're not learning that stuff at home in our society today, and we don't have these, unless you're in sports or something, it doesn't have to be male role models, but if you don't have adults that are stepping in and showing you things, then these kids are growing up to be adults, and they don't have a lot of the, some of them don't have a lot of like basic skills or things that we think that we wouldn't even think to teach someone, right? Like, how did you get here?
Right.
I mean, how many kids, I'm trying to think of something like, how old are your kids? How old's your oldest?
They're 8 and 6.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
When you start seeing like, when they get to be like 16 and stuff, like it'll blow your mind how much, you'll run into 16-year-old boys and girls. And I'm trying to think of something specific. And it's like, how do you not know that?
Well, I'm noticing
how did no one teach you that?
They don't have kids teaching kids either.
In terms of?
So what I'm seeing is like if a kid's struggling, that kid won't go over and help.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like I learned so much doing
from
that.
other, right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's because.
So like, does your school do these mentor programs?
Absolutely.
I mean, and how does it work? Like, are there any type of statistics on that?
Oh, I wouldn't know the statistics of where I'm at right now. The school that I'm at right now, the high school, is like the best in terms of the way that it operates and everything. It's the best school that I've ever seen. Mm. They do a lot of stuff just that blows my mind.
Okay.
The culture in the school is incredible. There's an incredible amount of school pride, which I think is important. I think that's something that's been lost in schools, particularly high schools, in a lot of places in the last couple of years. The school pride, the community pride is really strong. Mm-hmm. The way that the kids treat each other is incredible. There are groups like cliques, but
That still happens?
Not
like
so
cool
it
is,
does.
like cool is cool? still?
Well, it's weird. It's kind of weird. What's cool? You would think it's bizarre. What's cool? There's so many
So
things.
21 Jump Street when he's like, I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I struggle, dude. I struggle. Like, and I can't let go of certain things. I'll tell you the biggest one right off the rip is like, I'm just never down with like, I'm never going to snapback hats. I know they're in right now. I get it. Some people are on board with that. When I was coming up, like fitted hats, dude. Yeah, but you might have been like right before me. When I was growing up, it was fitted hats.
I grew up on the fitted hat.
You did? And you're on the snapback team now?
Yeah.
You're crazy, bro.
Well,
crazy.
I like to adjust.
I did not.
Because
That's not cool,
when
dude.
I sweat, it goes out, cool. This and that.
Listen, are they more functional? Yes. Are they potentially more comfortable? Yes, but that's not cool. And I've been on this train for a while. I'm not getting off, right? Long socks, okay? If you wear long socks, you're a nerd. I'm starting to wear long socks. I get the benefit, but like kids don't wear ankle socks anymore. And like I'm on the ankle sock train. When I was coming up, you wore ankle socks.
That was it.
If you wore long socks, you were a nerd.
Well, if your parents bought you long socks, you didn't have the choice to tell them to go get the ankle socks. What you did was you folded the
you folded
front.
it, yes.
Yeah.
And you walked, and it was like on the arch of your foot.
God.
It's probably why my feet are messed up to this day, dude. 100%. You would do the roll.
Yeah.
And the like.
Because God forbid you sat there and said you didn't give me ankle socks. They'd be like,
yes.
They work.
And you couldn't cut them.
No.
Because then everybody would know.
Yeah.
So you rolled them. Dude, I forgot about the roll. And it would kill your foot.
Oh my God, it would hurt so bad.
Dude, kids are wearing like knee-high socks now. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm dying on this hill of the ankle socks.
I was just asking somebody when we were on our vacation, all these kids are wearing socks and it's like 110 degrees, boiling hot. And I'm
socks
like,
are cool, dude. Long
you're
socks.
wearing the long socks.
It's cool.
But they're
opposite.
They're not wearing it with anything. The
just
socks
rocking
are
socks.
dirty as all hell on the bottom.
Dude, socks are cool.
They look black on the bottom. Like,
long socks are cool, bro.
Like Nike did this on purpose.
Yeah, seriously. I can't get with it. I'm short socks and fitted hats all day. That's how I'm going down. I don't care what anybody says.
I always had a bad time because of the way my head is shaped with fitted hats. So like I walk in the lids, I'd be there for 2 hours. Dude's like, dude, don't buy anything.
Dude, remember how big lids was?
Oh yeah. Dude, I had a card, everything.
Dude, I had the card.
Yeah.
Did you have the cleaning kit?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Of course you had to get
the brush. Brush my hat.
Dude, the white hat thing
the
that would go in the wash.
Yeah.
That would keep the hat ready.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, we do all these things.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's probably better. Like I'm dying on that hill, but like, it does make sense. Snapbacks. I get it.
And the baseball players today.
Yeah.
Dude, the hair,
dude,
the jewelry.
Crazy. That blows my mind.
I'm like,
doesn't that blow your mind?
I'm like, dude.
I just watch them like, aren't you uncomfortable? Dude, how do you run like that?
I don't know how they have these bags.
Dude, it's 100 degrees outside.
I carried a glove, batting gloves, and my cleats in my hands.
Right.
They got bags with like 40 bats sticking out.
Yeah.
They got 16 pair
all
of
the
cleats.
Stuff.
And
why would you, like you're playing baseball, it's 100 degrees. Say you're playing baseball today, or whatever, it's 100 degrees. You got long hair and a beard?
Yeah.
And 15 chains and dude, I don't.
It's Savannah Bananas.
We're so old.
It's Savannah Bananas all day.
Dude, Savannah. Have you been to one of their games?
Well, we're going.
Are you really?
To Baltimore.
How long did it take you to get tickets?
2 years.
Did you ever hear that guy talk?
Oh, dude, he's fantastic.
Isn't he amazing?
I would love to have him.
There's a perfect example, and I bet you could. There's a perfect example of what I was talking about, of like that guy, purpose versus like money, right? There's a guy that said he has a very clear purpose, right? His life is not driven by like success necessarily. And I'm speculating. I've watched a bunch of his interviews.
Right.
It's not like the accumulation of money. There are things that he does that he did when he was building that, where he went the exact opposite direction of like what everybody else was doing, what everybody was telling him to do to make as much money as possible. And he's like, yeah, but if I do that, that sucks, right? For the most important thing is like, I want to create an awesome fan experience and like a good time and like share the love that I have for the game of baseball. That's what I'm doing.
Right.
And that's what I'm focused on. And if I can make just enough money to live, right, and do that, I'm happy. And I believe, like, if you look at people that are super successful, a lot of times, like, that's their thing. It's like, if you do that, the money comes because, and now you look at dude, you can't get tickets to that.
No.
And he's building like a league. I don't know if you see there's teams everywhere.
He's the modern day Greatest Showman.
It's incredible.
What's his name? Barnum.
Yeah.
With all the
Bailey.
circus.
Yeah.
Barnum and Bailey and all the circuses. Like the movie The Greatest Showman, he's got the top hat, he's got the cane, he's doing everything. This dude's got a yellow top hat, yellow suit, looks like Curious George's
just copying.
person.
It's not that, I mean, it is creative, but like he's just.
And he's getting made fun of. He's failed so many times. People were like,
dude, people are like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Like you're
and now look
dancing
at him.
in baseball.
Yeah.
And
that's stupid.
And now he's selling out NFL stadiums.
Dude. And he, like, if you listen to him talk.
Oh, yeah.
And what he's doing, like, I don't know that he'll ever really challenge the MLB, but like, I'll say this, his thing is growing.
Oh, yeah.
Exponentially. I don't know. I'm not a big baseball guy. Like, I don't know that the MLB has anywhere else to grow, but
I don't think baseball will ever go away.
But do you think that I agree with you, but what I think will happen is at a certain point, he will become so big in that market that they will start to like basically copy what he's doing.
I don't think.
And integrate some of it.
No
You don't
way.
think so?
No, because MLB has such a rich history to it.
Yeah, but this is baseball.
Well, it's not baseball. It's a show. This is.
But it's a show of baseball.
There's dancing and there's acts in between.
I love how you're like, and you gave him props for putting dancing in, and then you're like, well, but I mean also like, it's not baseball.
No, baseball's baseball.
Right.
Like when you watch a baseball game, I'll let you know when I can actually get there because the 8 and 6 year old, they don't allow me to do anything in the businesses. So like if I catch an inning, awesome. If I catch a game, oh my God.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Yeah.
So with baseball, there's nothing like, a no-hitter.
Yeah.
You'll never have that in that show.
Mm-hmm.
It's scripted for one.
Absolutely.
I don't know what the hell they do. Like they do backflips and catch balls.
It's pretty awesome though.
Yeah. And
did you see they had the kid from Sandlot come out?
I loved it.
That was awesome.
Yeah. The great Hambino.
Yeah.
Like
that's cool.
Dude, I was like,
yeah,
this is why
it's a great show.
I want to go.
Yeah.
And the kids are going to love it.
Yeah.
They're not going to bother me.
So so I agree with you, but this is what I'm thinking. You've been to a Phillies game.
Absolutely.
Okay. What percentage of that stadium do you think is there for baseball and is the fan of baseball as you just described it? Meaning like no hitter and all this.
All right. So on a full night,
what percentage?
Give me a month.
A month?
Yeah.
What do you mean a month?
Give me a month. What month are we going to the game?
I see what you're saying. Let's say obviously like earlier part of the season.
May.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say it's probably 50-50.
Really? You're going 50-50?
I would say 50% are the girls that want to look cute. The college guys that are going.
Right.
June are more for the families, I would say, when the kids are out of school.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Then they're going.
May,
so, and then July, obviously, everybody's like, oh, man,
it starts to heat up.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, get the season over with.
Yeah.
And then August, everybody's like, here we go. Dog days of summer.
Starts
and then
hot.
September, here we go.
Yeah.
Playoffs are coming.
Yeah.
Who do we got to beat? Who's going to be here?
I agree. It starts getting serious at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
so like you get the progression over the
I totally
over the
agree
season.
with that. But if you look at their business model, right? And I agree with you, like towards the end, it's more like the baseball. But you look at the whole front end, like how they make their money just on the stadiums, like in the ballpark, like a lot of that is people who aren't really fans of baseball. It's the experience.
Yep.
And it's families.
And Dollar Dog Night.
And this dude's doing a big part of their business better than them.
Well, he doesn't have as many games.
No.
Yeah. I mean, they only have 4 teams too.
Right.
It's like
but
it's like the Rockford Peaches playing Racine, Like,
that's a deep cut.
It's a great.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan.
Yeah.
It's good advice.
It's good life advice. Jimmy Dugan, dude.
But it's just like hockey. Like nobody pays attention from October to February, because football season's going.
Right.
Basketball season just started as well. and you
Playoff
just
hockey's awesome.
oh, dude,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, but yeah,
Playoff basketball, I get into it and I don't get into it.
I'm not a basketball guy.
Yeah, but
Never have
NHL,
been.
playoff hockey, awesome.
Can't beat it.
Can't beat, the hunt for Red October.
No.
Like, I'm ready for the
No.
MLB playoffs.
Yeah.
Football is more my thing because it's once a week.
Right. Manageable.
Manageable.
Yeah. But you don't think, I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree with it, but I just think like play it out. Look at the timeline. I think he will start to be disruptive for them because even if, let's say, 10 or 20% of their business is like families and the experience.
Right.
If he starts to grow, his thing's growing, right?
Oh,
if it
absolutely.
gets to a place where it's consistent and it's a competition,
Right.
like let's say there's one of those teams in Philadelphia.
Oh.
How full is that ballpark, the Phillies ballpark, if he's playing games consistently?
I mean,
You have kids.
it's somewhere
Which one do you take them to?
it's somewhere to take the kids. Yeah. I mean, my kids fall asleep in the 7th inning.
Right. But if you had the choice, which one are you taking to? Which one are you taking the family to? I'd rather go to a Phillies game.
Well, you're gonna have to ask my wife. She's the one that runs the roost on that one.
I'm in the same boat. So basically, to answer my question,
but if
you're
I had
going to a
my
Savannah game.
If I had my choice, I'd take them to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese over to Phillies.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, and I love that you got it on camera here, and you could definitely refer back when they actually do get there, and you can write a comment and be like, "I told you,
told you,
fools."
bro, told you, called it. Hire me as a consultant.
Yeah, right.
I'm available and I'm cheap. That's what I used to tell. Here's a funny story to your first part, like my experience getting out of in education. So when I first got out of college, like it was really hard to get a teaching job. I got turned down because I had no experience.
Right.
So I got turned down. I applied for a job to teach American history in a prison, and I didn't get it. They went with someone with more experience.
Wow.
And I remember I saved all my rejection letters, and I have a wall in my house where I hang them up. And I'm like, if I can't get a job teaching high school, like in a prison, like, dude, I'm cooked.
Right.
So I sat down and I started to, I don't remember exactly where I came up with this idea. I know I looked at stuff online and stuff, but I just got this in my head where it's like, it was probably some sales video that I watched where it's like, you got to stand out.
Right.
You got to stand out. It's the most important thing. Applying for jobs, got to stand out. So I used to do like really creative, outrageous things, not bad, but like looking back on it to try and at least get my name to stick in people's heads when I was applying for jobs. So like, I was doing substitute work, which is like you would go into a school just for the day. You make no money. And they tell you, it's like, that's how you get your name out there, which is a lie. So I would like, dude, I had cards made like with my picture on it that I would like leave behind and walk up to the principal, hand him a card. I had pens that I had no money. I had pens that I ordered with my name on it. Like, yeah, you need a pen, dude? Let me put that in your pocket for you.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm selling myself.
Right.
I used to send flowers to a couple times, like I applied for jobs. I sent flowers to the lady in HR.
Oh my God.
I was the flower guy.
Yeah.
Worked. I got an interview. But the best was I wrote, you know, you have a cover letter.
Yeah.
I have this somewhere. This is a true story. So I would send out all these applications and cover letters. And at the time, like, I don't even know if I went online, some book, like, this is how you write a cover letter. Everybody's is the same. How you doing? Excited to apply for the job. So I wrote this whole page and a half cover letter about how I was the Tom Brady of education. And I was
Awesome.
like, coming out of college, I'm not like highly recruited.
Right.
I don't have the measurables that maybe other people have.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe I have it I have the desire and the commitment to be like the greatest educator of all time, just like Tom Brady would go on to be the greatest quarterback of all time. And like the whole thesis of the letter, so arrogant, but was that, this, whatever school district I was applying to, like, you have the opportunity to be the New England Patriots when they drafted Tom Brady. Like, not only did they get Tom Brady, but they got him cheap. And that was part of it, was like, I can come in pretty cheap right now. Like, you're going to get me on a deal.
Is history in a PASA test?
Is what?
Is history
No
information on the PASA test?
No.
Then what the fuck do they care about you? I would sit there and be like, Yeah, that dude ain't getting us any money.
Where were you a while ago,
yeah,
dude?
right? No money coming your way for any of this. But yeah,
I never
dude,
thought of that
I
in
love it.
all these years.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. That's a really good point. It's probably why it didn't work out.
That's where their funding comes from, right?
That's a part of it. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's what makes the school. It's like what you stand on, right? How are your
Well,
scores
is
and
it
stuff?
like that the movie
That's
what the hell with
hysterical.
Tom Hanks? They're like, "Oh, we're here to
God.
work. You won the lottery, we're here to work.
Mhm.
We work today and
Yeah.
and that's it."
Oh, dude, I never thought of that.
Oh, that's great. They all come in their clown cars and this and
Yeah.
that. But
That's funny.
so I'm gonna flip this on you.
Okay.
Instead of doing Good Morning Miss Bliss, we're gonna go to Saved by the Bell
Okay.
and focus more on the students
Okay.
side of it. I want to know how are they teaching money to kids, money management to kids that are going out into the real world?
So it depends. It depends. Every school is different, right? And that's, like I said earlier, like one of the challenges in education is like we talk about education in schools with a very broad brush,
Mhm.
and the nature of the beast is schools are very different state to state, right? The experience that students are getting, because ultimately education is controlled by the states. The other thing is district to district, and this is by design, right? We have locally elected people that operate your school boards.
Isn't
And
it start at the top though?
so
Federally,
so there are
and then it spider webs into a curriculum to the,
yes,
like,
and
each state won't go
yes
different,
and no,
right? Okay.
yes and no. So like to your point, are there things that are mandated by the federal government? Not really, because they really don't have the authority to do that. They do set like educational standards,
Mhm.
but really the states set their standards, and that's a lot of what the curriculum is based on.
Does that have to get approved by the federal?
Not
Oh, okay.
not really.
So they could just rock and roll.
Yeah. Now, if you have a curriculum, if your state writes a curriculum that is the federal government puts out, like Common Core was the big one years ago.
Oh.
So they'd be like Common Core. Now, if you're the state of Pennsylvania, you're like, we're not doing Common Core. My understanding, you can do that. But then the federal government's going to say like, okay, you have the power to do that, but then we're not going to give you any money.
Yep. There's the funding.
So, but even with that, the majority of the decisions and the controls at the state level, like I'll use history as an example. If you study the Civil War in Pennsylvania,
Mhm.
and then you go and you study it in Texas, you're going to get two very different versions.
Really?
Stories. Yeah. It's not as bad as it used to be. But
So-
like there was a time where you would get a textbook in Pennsylvania and it was like the Civil War. And then you would pick up a textbook in Texas, I don't know, Texas, Alabama, whatever, and it would be like the War of Northern Aggression.
So it's like Chernobyl.
Yeah. Yes.
So like
yeah.
you get that story here,
Right.
and Russia messed
Right.
it up.
Right.
But if
It's a very
you
different
go
story.
over to
Yeah.
Russia,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're like, no,
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't-
USA tampered with our stuff.
It's not our fault.
Yeah, it wasn't our fault.
Yeah. And that's part of what makes history cool. It's like a lot of times both sides are right.
Right.
It's just a question of like who's more right in all this perspective. But yeah, so to your question about money, like it really comes down to what are states putting value in? Are they putting an emphasis on that? And then are the districts? I've worked in districts where they have those classes, and I've worked in districts where they don't. It is more of a thing, to answer your question, today than it has been since I've been in teaching. And I think historically it's becoming a bigger and bigger thing, like personal finance classes.
So is it an elective that they have to pick to go into?
I'm trying to think if I've worked anywhere where it's like something that they're required to take.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe so. I would say yes and no, probably. And most high schools in our area, if they're offering a personal finance class, which I would assume there's probably a decent number of high schools in Delaware County that have personal finance classes. Is it a requirement? Yes and no, right? Per the state, you have to take so many, like to graduate, math, science, like your core academics. Pretty much every high school has like elective requirements. So technically it is, but also you might be able to take it as like a I don't know, a math class. So like you have to take a math, and I could take personal finance if the class is built in a certain way, and that meets the
Right, right,
requirement.
right.
So, is it like I mean, dude, history is not a required tested subject,
Right.
and I think it should be. I think personal finance, history. I think it should all be. Dude, you have to take a test to become a citizen in this. You have to take a history test to become a citizen in the United States. But if you graduate high school, you don't got to take a history test.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? You
Why?
were born
What?
here.
Yeah, but I would say that's why
kidding.
we're getting a situation where like people that just got here know more about our history than people that lived here, right? Like, I think it should all be tested. If we're going to do tests,
I agree. If you're going to do tests,
test everything.
Test everything.
Or else, why are we doing it?
Yeah, you
What's
should
the
be able
point?
to climb the rope.
Yeah,
in gym.
100%. Run
Yeah.
the mile, dude.
Exactly.
Were you good at the mile?
No.
Terrible. I was
I
terrible.
suck.
At it.
I can't run.
Were you in good shape when you were at school?
I was in good shape. That was all genetics. I just wasn't.
You're not a runner?
No.
I'm not a runner.
I'm not a track star. I'm not
No.
a runner.
What sports did you play when you were in school?
Baseball, football.
Nice. What position did you play football?
Quarterback.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was not. No. I was carrying clipboards and listening to my coach bitch. Like,
still nice though.
He was a nerd. Like I'm like, you have a note for this? He's like, yeah, we fucking suck. I'm like, great, cool, man, awesome. This is exactly why I wanted to carry a clipboard, to hear your dumbass comments.
Were you
were
you a quarterback your whole time? Like growing
I
up?
only played 2 years in high school.
In high school, okay.
Yeah.
Baseball all the way though.
Baseball all the way. I was
Okay.
a 4-year varsity starter.
Nice.
Played with Buckholz. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
He,
good guy.
My
Great
God.
guy.
Just watching him
Yeah.
practice, like I was doing a long toss with him, and
Yeah.
I'm like 3-hopping it to him while he's just like
Yeah.
dead laser to me.
Wild.
Yeah, I was like, all right, this is fun.
Yeah.
But learned a lot from him. The only reason I ask about the personal finance, I feel like our kids are going out into the real world not understanding shit. People are terrified of debt.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't understand good debt versus bad debt. And I feel like it's up to our educators, and it's got to be hard as an educator for yourself.
I'm not the one that should be teaching that.
What's that?
I shouldn't be teaching that.
Right.
But yeah.
And that's what.
No, I agree. I think it should absolutely. So if you made me governor tomorrow, the two class. Yeah. Shout out, Jennifer.
Yeah.
The
Shout
two
out.
classes that I
Thanks for shutting
would
us down.
institute in every school in the state would be personal finance.
Right.
And then I would do some kind of rigorous like drug and alcohol, dangers of drug, or just drug and alcohol education. Like, yeah, well, DARE didn't really work, but
I dared
something.
not to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. I think those two things are extremely important for young people. And, but yeah, it's becoming, I agree with you. It's becoming a thing. It's getting traction. It's not quite where I would say it should or needs to be. I think it's trending in that direction. The other thing with young people today that I think is good, and I agree with you, like they are growing up with like certain skills where I'm like, how do you not know this? But they are so conditioned, and this is ultimately it's a negative, but one of the positives is like they're so conditioned to learn from devices that their ability to pick stuff up and to like look for answers to their questions on stuff that they don't know is far greater than any generation before. And like that stuff's all out there, but to your point, like you don't know what you don't know.
How are you getting around that? Because do you guys teach how to write resumes in high school?
They do. The one that I work at now has a class for that, and then it's also part of one of the writing classes I think they take.
Is it literally just open AI and
well,
hey,
I mean, so
create me a resume as an 18-year-old man?
So that's why I would say,
woman.
like, I don't know that we probably should be teaching how to do resumes anymore, because I don't know that you're really going to need
this
to.
AI stuff, man. I feel like we're going into.
We had a good run.
Yeah, we're going into idiocracy. Like these people are going to be dumb.
So that's an
they're not
interesting
going to know
question.
what to do.
So that's an interesting question. Now we're going down a totally different thing.
He
And
wants toilet water.
this is where that's a great movie, by the way. So on point. But this is where I pivot, and like everything that I've been saying and that I believe in when it comes to AI, I totally go on like the opposite side of everything on the fence. I agree with what you're saying. They're not going to know anything. But my point, and I think that's where a lot of people freak out, where they're like, everyone's going to become too dependent on AI and they're not going to know anything. Like, you're not going to know how to write. You're not going to know how, like, nothing.
Well,
You're
you
just gonna
can't
do all of it.
communicate.
Right. But here's my question to you. Will you need to?
Communicate with other people? That's sales, homeboy.
Are people going to be selling stuff?
As they should.
Do you think they will, though?
I honestly hope so.
I would agree. I hope so.
I hope so.
But do you
But
think...
I don't know what would be the AI generated salesperson that would go into, like, what are people going to do if AI is just going to take us all over? Like, are we all going to be in like pods?
Yeah, probably. Dude, I'm terrified of it. Man. Dude, I'm terrified. Like this is a whole other podcast. Yeah.
Big blue people. And
I'm terrified of it. Not like in a Skynet type of way, although maybe,
Skynet.
but yeah.
Oh my God.
But like, I think we're playing around with something in typical, like, particularly American, like, society fashion, where it's like, people are like, hey, I know I can make some money off pushing this thing down the line a little bit. And we're all just kind of like, bah, whatever. And then we're going down a road where no one's really, or I shouldn't say no one, but people aren't really thinking about like, hey, should we do this?
Right.
Or like, is this a good idea? What's this? What are the consequences? Like, we're very reactive, not proactive in the way that we think. So like, I mean, the difference, there have been technologies that have fundamentally changed the way that we live and work, right? Let's think about this. Business, sales. 2025. Think about what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Now go back to 2000. Go back to 2010.
Okay.
And then let's go to 2000. Is it the same?
No.
Okay. Totally different, right?
You got social media that's
totally different, right?
Stop using the word follow up.
10 years, 15 years with just like social media, right? And that technology. The way that we live and the way that we work, and just taking sales as an example, is completely different. Dude, go back to the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Everything was brand new. It was like,
right?
Oh my God, look at this.
People, I mean, I know we're the last generation. I remember when people would be like talking about websites, like on TV. They'd be like, you should go to a website, www.com. And you'd be like, what was it?
Yeah.
You know? So like, okay, think about how different everything is just in this amount of time with just computers and smartphones and social media. Okay. And that's all driven by people, right? Like a guy, scientists made smartphones, invented social media, whatever. And then we took it and ran with it, whatever. So all of these things that have been invented that have fundamentally changed the way that we live are driven by human intelligence. Smartest people in the world, right? Most gifted salesmen, businessmen, whatever. Artificial intelligence is a non-human intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is smarter by currently, I don't know, 100 times, however you quantify this, the smartest person on earth.
Well,
it has the entire intelligence
it's
of
a
human.
human that put that intelligence into the system.
Correct.
And it evolved over time.
Correct.
So you're basically creating a child.
Correct.
And giving them all your knowledge.
Correct.
But you have 8 billion people given every bit of information for this thing to rock and roll.
So that's where I'm like, lay this out. It's going to grow. It's already starting to like advance and develop beyond a level that we can't comprehend because it's not human driven.
Okay.
Like we're putting it in there, right? At what point does it start teaching itself? Like no one knows where this is going to go. Like, I don't know what the world's going to look like. You have Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
In your feed, how many, if you scroll Instagram right now, how many videos you're seeing, or do you see? Let's say you scroll for like 10 minutes and there's like 100 videos you come across. How many of them are AI generated? Ballpark.
Probably 30% right now.
Okay.
Yeah. because I'm into the baseball and
Yeah.
apparently I had a buddy of mine send me something. Now I get breastfeeding ones.
That's weird.
It's really weird.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they literally just popped a booby out.
Totally. It's a mistake.
Yeah.
It's
not a mistake.
Nah, it's not the algorithm. I don't know what that's about. Go back 100 days.
Okay.
In your Instagram feed. How many AI generated videos are there? Is it 30%?
Well, I'm starting to see the businesses that are saying how they can generate the AI
Dude.
reels.
Oh.
And they're like, the business is
Have you seen some of them? They're making commercials now.
Yeah.
Instantaneously.
With people.
They're not people, but they are people.
They look like people.
Dude. And this all happened in months.
Right.
We went from none of it. Like I go back a couple months and I didn't see any of these. Like the Bigfoot or the Sasquatch. I get those. I don't know why. Oh, that's algorithm. But like
awesome.
him with like the phone. Yeah, they're hilarious. But like, I don't know, 4 months ago, I never saw any of it. And now it's like, dude, that's everything.
Right.
Look at how much that's changed in, let's call it 6 months.
Mhm.
What's it going to be in 6 more months? Look at the massive evolution in that in 6 months. Where does that go? What's it going to look like in 6 months? What's it going to look like in a year?
Well,
What's it going to look like in 2 years?
You probably have like a little bit more information to the future because you're looking at the kids and how they're reacting to certain things.
Oh, dude.
Right?
They don't watch movies.
They don't watch movies.
Nope.
Man, they don't drink. There's no movies. They vape.
I know.
There's no smoking.
I
like,
know.
dude, Philip Morris.
There's some good things.
Philip
but
Morris
it is weird.
done.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The bars, like the corner bars or the hole in the wall bars that
done.
like I used to love to go to.
Done.
Put some music on.
Yeah.
No, done.
No.
Yeah.
They don't watch movies, dude. It's just YouTube videos and like, but not even like podcasts. Like it's just like reels and TikTok and like that's their entertainment. I'm telling like, I'm not saying they don't watch movies. Like they don't watch, like we're throwing out deep cuts. Like they don't watch movies that are coming out now.
Right.
A lot of kids, like they don't do movies, even, maybe on Netflix,
Right.
but it's all their entire
Netflix and
entertainment. Yeah. But that's not even like, dude, the generations that are coming out, like that's not even really a thing. It's all whatever's
What the hell is
Instagram, YouTube.
that?
My
Was that a phone?
my phone.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
dude, before our phone was this.
Yeah.
Now it's
It's
like-
everything. But that's their whole, dude, that's their whole world.
yeah.
That's their whole world. Like, so yeah, I don't like seeing kids and the way that they're married to those 2 devices and stuff. Like it's changed society. Like watching them come up, you'll see it when we'll see it when our kids get older. Like, I don't even know where it'll be, but like you have a 16-year-old kid now. It's hard to even really relate to them because they're what they're interested in is so different. Like when we were growing up, there's a disconnect between you and your parents because like you were into a different kind of music and they didn't
Absolutely.
understand it.
Right.
And you were into like a different kind of movies and they didn't understand it. But they had a reference point. Like they watched movies and they listened to music.
Now we're getting connected again.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because
yeah,
we're
you
watching
catch
the
it.
same reels.
Yeah. But now
We're
it's like
death
these kids,
scrolling.
right? These kids, like, they don't even watch movies. I don't know that they really listen. I don't get the impression that they really listen to
So-
music, not like we did.
So you don't play any movies in your history class?
Oh, let's not get crazy. I play a lot of movies.
I was gonna say, dude, you got to play Glory.
Oh yeah, dude.
And you talk
Guess what?
Civil War.
Guess what? I just showed that I was like, well, I get real like bitter because they're not into it. Like I'm like, guys, this is the best part. I just everybody watch this, guys. Dude, I did what did I do like at the end of this year with like 10th graders, and they were like, remember the Titans?
Hell yeah.
Dude. Remember the Titans, bro?
The scene when he runs to the
Dude,
graveyard.
left side, strong side.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, love that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just sitting there like whatever. I remember when they would play that when I was at school, I'd be like, dude, we're gonna watch Titans today. Yo, bro, 4th period, Miss So and So is playing Remember the Titans. Dude, you'd be like, I don't care what else happens today. I'm on cloud 9.
Right.
We're gonna
And
watch a
you
movie
go to
in
the-
school?
You go to the vending machine.
Yeah.
You grab a couple snacks.
Let me get a chocolate milk.
Right. Yes.
Right. Kick off the moccasins. We're gonna watch Glory or Remember the Titans, and you'd be locked in. But now it's they're just not into it. It doesn't It's also not like I remember watching, when you were in school, if you got shown like Glory or something, or like Saving Private Ryan, that was like a real big controversy. Like if you're gonna play that, people were like, it was shocking. Like
Too
you'd watch it,
violent.
yeah, and because
Yeah.
you watch it and like, I mean, you remember. I'm sure there's things that you remember when you were in school, like either anti-drugs or drinking stuff that they showed you, and it would like, dude, it imprints on you.
Yeah.
But kids now, like, they don't really get shocked because they've been exposed to
A whole lot.
everything. So
Mhm.
like, you put on a movie or you try and show a picture, you're teaching about something heavy and it doesn't hit anywhere near. And I've seen it like, being in the game like over 10 years, like even when I started, it wasn't as much of an impact as like when I was in school, but it's become less and less and less to now it's just like, I don't know, they're just really desensitized.
Do you give them papers to write
Yeah.
on certain wars and
Oh yeah. 100%.
certain
Yeah.
historical
Absolutely.
things?
Yeah. Paper and pen.
How do
too.
you know it? Oh, paper and pencil.
Well, you have to. So because of the
How do you,
AI
I
thing,
was gonna say, how do you get out of the AI?
so there's a couple things like there's scanners, there's
Do you
AI
spend your time
scanners.
doing it?
You have to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. You have to. Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Well, I mean, it zips through it. Like there's like AI. You just put them through there, and the AI tells you if it's AI.
Did you write this?
Yeah. Well, dude. It's a really hard situation because it's like you don't want to accuse anyone of anything if you don't have any proof, and it's
Right.
like, what's your proof that you aren't smart enough to do this? You can't say that. And like, what if it's a kid that really did like, hey, they're actually into the Civil War and they actually did crack a book for the first time ever.
Well, what if
And,
they
like-
used AI to get their information?
So it's really a problem.
Can they
And there's
cite?
positive-
Can they
dude.
cite?
You'll never. This is where I get bitter. Like the thing I hate most in academics, like since I was in high school, is like citations.
Yeah.
Do you remember the book?
Yeah.
And you'd be sitting there and like, period.
Oh, yeah.
The worst.
You
Like
sit
you'll
there,
never have to do that
You
again.
look at the footnotes. You're like, fuck.
Isn't that unfair?
Yeah.
That sucks. Like I
So
had to
they don't
suffer
do
through
that
that. Yeah.
anymore?
No, what? What? Who's ever gonna have to do that again?
So
You just put in like I read this book.
you can
AI
do
just-
plagiarism to a
Is that
T.
plagiarism?
What? Not citing something?
No, I mean like if I'm saying you're not gonna have to make the citation. Like you can go into AI and say,
yeah.
I use this book,
Yeah.
put it in such and such format for me.
Right.
Now you could say that copying that's plagiarism, but like back in the day when we had that book that walked you through it, like what's the difference?
I always got jealous of the person in high school that had the headset and they were talking into the computer and it would write
Oh, yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
But,
But now
like-
everything can do that.
Right?
Yeah. We're gonna go backwards where like having students write like paper and pen is gonna become, I think, more prevalent because AI. And then the other thing is like oral reports.
Mm.
That's the easiest way around it. It's
Right.
just like, hey, you're gonna give an oral report, which like no one has been doing that I've seen in the last, I mean, since I've been in
You
education.
don't do oral reports.
Nah.
So we're just going to get rid of speech class too.
Well, I mean, there are certain classes that might do it, but like it's not a thing like it was in the past in, across the board. But like with AI now, that's a huge way, around it. Like give an oral report because you can't use AI. Now you might use AI to do like the research and stuff, but
Mm.
what's the difference between that and just Googling something or using a book anyway? But yeah, dude, you could type in, have you played around with it?
I have. I
It's-
always do.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's
awesome.
it's creepy. I put
Yeah.
in like a meal plan for a week. I
dude.
put in a workout plan for the week.
It's over. We had a good run.
Yeah.
We had a good run.
We had a good run.
run.
And look, I said, you know what? I guess my brain could use a break.
Yeah. It's addictive. But now I use it for like everything. And I'm like, I start to get worried that I'm not thinking about stuff anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I do is like I still write at night. I still
What do you write?
just ideas.
Like a journal or just
yeah,
like ideas?
just ideas. I don't even call it journaling because
Yeah,
I don't
like that term.
Yeah, I don't
Just
like.
sounds weird.
I know a lot of people love their journaling.
Yeah.
They'll set their goals, this and that.
Yeah.
Me, I never understood like if I put a goal in there, do I need like a title on it, and
Yeah.
then do I need like a subtext, and then
Yeah.
do I need like a whole description?
Whatever you
of
want,
it?
dude.
You know,
Yeah.
me, I kind of was like,
Just jot stuff down.
yeah, and it's like all chicken scratch, and
Yeah.
then I'll go back to it after like 30 days. I'm like,
Yeah.
See, I missed that. All
Yeah.
right, let's do this again.
Yeah.
And then I start going better. And
Yeah.
I keep getting better.
That's good.
Yeah. And, whatever works for me.
That's
You know?
another life lesson is like,
Right.
you got to trial and error. You got to figure out what works for you. Too
Right.
many, it's not, I don't think this isn't something I would say like is a intentional negative in education, but I think just the nature of the beast, like, we teach kids how to study, we teach kids, and you try and teach as many different ways.
Mhm.
But like, I think for some kids, like, well, I can't, like flashcards,
Right.
like that may not work. Didn't work for me.
Right.
May not work for you. So then it's like, oh, I can't study. Well, it's like, we'll try something else. So, what does work for you?
Right.
And so that's something that I tell young people that I would say is like a big life lesson is like, dude, trial and error in everything.
I used to lose my mind, was sitting in a class. It was like, as if it's not boring enough where the teacher's just talking the whole time. And you get the asshole that's like, yeah, I don't get it. What don't get,
What don't you get? I just don't get it.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. What
Yeah.
problem?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
what part of the story do you not get?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't get it.
I just don't get it.
I read it.
Yeah.
But I don't
just
get
don't
it.
get it. Yeah.
God damn, dude.
Yeah. That's rough.
You're wasting my time right now.
Right.
I just don't want to be here. I'm
Yeah.
crawling out of my skin, and
Yeah.
you're asking this dumb shit, or you're saying this dumb shit.
Yeah.
How hard is it to be a teacher today than when you first started?
In general, it's getting harder because of the way, the impact that I think smart devices and social media are having on young people, the attention span, and just like creativity of young people. It's having it's not good, dude. The social media, smartphones, like we got to look at them like it's a drug.
Right.
So it's getting harder across the board. Young teaching is getting harder as a career, as a field. I think like a lot of the other civil service jobs, because we keep putting more and more on the expectation of what we expect educators to do is ever increasing. Like we want them to do all this stuff that whether some people do, right?
Mhm.
Should they be doing it? Shouldn't they be doing it? Right? That whole conversation. In terms of like where I'm at now versus where I started, the schools, I would say I don't know if I'd say it's easier, like to break it down that way.
Right. It's still
Um,
work.
It's still work.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as stressful because the places that I started in, when you're working in really tough school districts and tough communities, dude, it's the stakes are high.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking about, like, you could be saving a kid from, a really tough life situation. They got stuff going on. So like it's the stakes are high. It matters. It's important. So like, and you feel that on your back if you're willing to take it on. So
When you're, I want to say, when you're in your
yeah,
lecture,
yeah,
you got a kid
on their phone all the time.
that's scrolling.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
So a lot of schools now are banning them. That's the new thing.
What, the phones?
Yeah. That's the new thing. Banning
Well,
cell phones.
What if the one kid has a business?
Has a business?
Mm-hmm. Does it
Congratulations, bro.
Does it matter?
I always say to them, like, because they'll be like, some kid. I've had kids, which by the way is awesome,
Yeah.
like landscaping and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll be like, yo, man, I got a business, or a lot of kids will be like, it's my mom. And my response is always like, dude, I don't care if Christ or, got off the cross, or Buddha or whoever's texting you. Like, that's part of life. Like, you can't do it right now. So you can't do it right now, period. Like, doesn't.
Well, so what I'm assuming is that they're disrespectful about it, right?
Nah, not really.
Well, they're just sitting there.
Yeah.
But
playing games.
If they asked you, like,
oh, if you ask me,
hey,
if we're not doing anything, yeah, no problem.
hey, Mr. Smythe, can I go out in the hallway real quick? Phone call, and I got
If I'm allowed to do that.
Oh, you're not allowed?
No. Well, in first off, kids making phone calls in school in like most of the schools I work with is kind of prohibited.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, but if it was up to me, if you're asking me, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like if you want to step out, yeah. But I mean, as long as it's not like
if you get caught, you're going to the bathroom. I don't really care.
Oh yeah, well, I was it's
You
like,
know?
listen, dude, I'll deny it's like Mission Impossible. I'm gonna deny all knowledge of your existence. You know what I mean? Like that's on you.
Yeah.
I'll throw you under the. I'm gonna make it worse just to
Right.
get myself out of trouble, just so we're clear.
Right.
No, yeah, it really depends on what the rules are. Not anybody getting jammed up, but like, and listen, like, I think there's kids today. It's different. I think the problem with us thinking about this phone thing is we're coming at it from a place of like who we are, right? You have control over the phone, even though now you're probably more addicted to your phone than you were when the first cell phone that you had,
Of course.
right? But you still have control of it.
Yeah.
And you've grown up and been trained and developed to like move through the world. You have certain skills that you developed before smartphones were a thing.
Became a multi-tool.
Right.
It's
So
11
like,
in 1, you know?
Right. So you're 11. So you're coming at it like, what's the big, you know what I mean? What's the thing? Kids got to make a call. But like, they're not where we are. So to give exemptions or to be understanding, you have to understand like they're developing, they're growing. So what are we teaching them? How are they developing? Like, if you're a young kid, is it healthy for you to, when you're supposed to be learning something, like, and to learn and train yourself to be engaged in stuff, even stuff that you don't care about? Because sometimes as an adult, you got to listen to stuff that you don't care about,
Right.
because it's important. But like, if you never have to do that because you always can be entertained and distracted, and we don't teach you or help you develop that part, right? You're never going to get that. And so then when you become adult, like, you're incapable of doing it. That would be my concern. So like, I think sometimes when we're thinking about the phone thing and young people, like, we have to put ourselves in their shoes and realize like, it's not us, right? You're not you at 16 sitting in that chair. There's a kid at 16 in that chair that's grown up in a very different world than you have.
Just like our parents went to school uphill both ways, right?
Yeah, killed a bear with a loose leaf notebook.
Yeah. Now, I'm glad you said it that way, because that's actually a good advice for parents too.
Yeah.
Is that's not us sitting there at 16.
Right. It's different.
Everything is definitely evolved.
Different.
Everything has changed. And even when we're sitting there trying to teach our kids, we're doom scrolling just like they are.
Right. That's kids do what kids, and I think parents know this, but like, it's not what you say, it's what they say.
It's what they say.
Right. And you can only inspect what you expect, or expect what you inspect, vice versa.
Dylan can actually edit that however you want it.
I mean, go with what you feel.
He can reverse it.
It's what you reinforce. It's what you do, not what you say. Let me ask this, when your kids get, how old do you, and I'm not trying to dog you, but because I don't know the answer to this question. How old do you think your kids will be when you like give them a phone or let them have a phone?
Well, they have a pad now.
Right.
And we give them all the pad time in the world.
Okay.
We don't care.
Right.
You want your pad? Go on it.
Right.
When their friends come over, they ask us to hide the pads.
That's cool.
Because their friends
are addicted.
And they're like, "Where's your pad?
Right.
Can we get on your pad?"
Right.
All they want to do is play. That's what they
That's
want.
interesting.
And I was like, I don't know what's right and wrong. We're never going to find out until 18, 19 years old.
Right. And by the way, you could do everything right and they can still make a bad choice.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
exactly.
You can only do so much.
But I just see what the kids are going through. Like, I got some kids that come over and they're like, "Do you have soda?" I'm like, "No, we don't carry soda." Sorry. We have seltzer.
Yeah.
I don't want seltzer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you want juice? Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the juice.
Yeah.
When they get a phone,
scary, dude.
Is the minute they start leaving the house without me, I would say, is when they get a phone. I'm thinking 13.
Okay. Unrestricted?
12, 13.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely, I think they have these tools out there, these apps that you can get on. You could see
what they're doing.
Like, one parent can actually see like text messages that come through, and there's like an anti-bullying thing on these.
It like gives you like
apps.
A notice and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this sounds like bullying detection. Check this text message out that was sent to your daughter, and they would read it. And it was like, oh, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, so we're
Do you
gonna
worry about that?
bullying.
No, like, well, I mean, yeah, I
Well,
was gonna say like the phones.
nah, yeah, I mean, they're gonna get cyberbullied all day.
Yeah,
But
that's a good take.
it's a hard lesson to learn. When you talk about bullying with kids, um, it, it's it's harmless to their minds until the other person reacts. So every action gets a reaction,
Okay,
and like my daughter, she's done dumb shit
right.
on the,
Thing, whatever.
you look at their text messages and it's
Mhm.
like, hey,
Yeah,
and then they'll send like 50 million emoji
right,
clowns and this that,
right.
and then they'll say something like, please leave me alone.
Yeah,
And it's like, holy shit,
yeah.
like you went from having a great
Right, right,
conversation to leave me
right,
alone.
right.
Um, so one person took a picture, like a screenshot
Screenshot.
of my daughter and put it into the group, and my daughter was like, "Take it down now."
Right,
Like she got really upset about
right.
it. I was like, "Well, good for you. Like
Yeah,
you
stand up for
told them,
yourself,
and they
and they
did it."
did it.
Um, yeah, I don't know because we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah,
I feel like we're just getting into
yeah,
all this
yeah.
nonsense, and
It's tough.
yeah,
Where it does freak me out. Like because I don't know. I think people, parents especially, are like have one way or the other. Anyone that comes to me and they're like they have certainty, I'm like I don't really think that that's the way to go. Like some people are like we don't do phones, and I'm like I don't think that's the way to go.
no,
Because how are
you're
they
you're
learning?
hindering them
Right,
from an existence of
right.
what they're going to
Right.
be
And then
inevitably.
that's going to have a social impact. But then it's like some people just give it to them and they're like, whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't think that's
Well,
it.
they sit there and they see the reel that the phone that they were just looking at doom scrolling,
Right.
that the Google CEO doesn't give his
Yeah.
kids social media.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be like him.
Yeah. That's a little different.
No,
That's a little different.
Right.
We're just a little different of an experience.
Exactly.
That kid's probably like learning about the Colosseum in Rome by going there on his private jet with his
Right.
private tutor. Like,
like
yeah.
it's definitely different.
Yeah.
But these are the same parents who are like, no,
Yeah.
I will never allow my kid there.
Mhm.
Okay, well, dude, that's your prerogative. That's fine.
Right.
But then you start getting the judgmental people
Yeah.
that are like, I can't believe you give your kids that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
Hey,
Right.
they don't have
What
to
do you
come. They
care?
don't have to come over
Yeah. What do
because
you care?
the pads aren't out when they're here.
Right. Right.
My kids ask me to hide them.
Right. Right. Which is great that they do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that was me and Matt. Like, we looked at each other. We're like,
That's a really good sign.
what?
Yeah. That's a
They're
really
like,
good sign.
we need you to hide them because our friends are going to ask us
That's a
to,
really good
to
sign.
be on them. I'm like,
That's a lot of
love it.
maturity.
Yeah, I love it.
Again.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say we're
gonna.
gonna sidetrack real
All
quick.
right.
Right before we wrap up, I want to
Go
talk
for it.
about your other path.
Okay. Which one?
You ran for Congress.
No.
What was
State
it?
House.
State House.
Different, similar,
Okay.
same thing. Different.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you said Congress earlier. I don't know why it
Yeah.
was in my head.
I get
So you
confused
ran
there.
for State House.
Yeah. State legislature.
What got you into politics? Was it being a
I fell backwards into it.
I was gonna say, was
Yeah.
it going for history?
No. I had no
Teacher?
intention.
Okay.
No, I had nothing. It was so along with the short version, because you want to wrap up, because we could do a whole other one on that. The lesson that I would take from that for people is, I think that the way that you move through the world and the choices that you make and your reputation are far more important than I think maybe people realize, certainly than I realized when I was younger. And I knew it was important. I think people think reputation is like what people, think about you. And it's just like important in terms of what a person sees you as before they meet you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's bigger than that, right? I think reputation and how you move through the world, generally like how you treat people, creates opportunities. I think life, like success and life and all of this is moving through the world, and opportunities are presented to you. And I think people that are successful a lot of times like walk through the door, take the chance when other people wouldn't, right? And, there's never the perfect time and it's not obvious, but like, we're throughout life, there's always these chances, these things that come up. And sometimes you have to be like you were say when we come in, like, the business that you got into and like doing that, like sometimes you got to take a leap
Yeah.
when a door
Like doing a
opportunity.
podcast.
Perfect example.
When you meet a guy and
Right.
he's like,
Right.
"Oh, you should do one."
Right. And
Yeah,
like
sure,
everybody
buddy.
else would go, yeah, I probably would be good at that. And I probably would, but I got all this stuff going on. I don't really have the time. And it's not like dogging them, but like
Yeah.
you have to have people and maybe I think this will work out for you and like become something, but like, this is what I'm talking about. Maybe this won't work. I'm not saying that's what I think.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But doing this might open another door that
Agreed.
you don't even know about. It could be something completely it's not even on your radar.
Right.
And I think so I'm a big believer in like reputation and opportunity and momentum.
Mm-hmm.
I think treating people generally good and putting yourself out there, saying yes to wild things, to opportunities. Sometimes people are like, well, if I do this, it's going to equal that. Well, no, maybe we'll do this and it's a failure. But in that failure, I might learn something.
Right.
Or someone might see that and it opens a totally unrelated thing that changes my life or whatever. So the politics thing, yeah. So I ran for the state legislature in the 2020 election. I had no experience in politics.
Right.
I had no desire to be in
You were
politics.
fantastic. Like you spoke really
thank
well,
you. No, I
man. That
appreciate
was
it.
awesome.
It was
And
I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
So why'd they pick you?
That's a great question. So here's how it went down. To my point of like opening doors. The guy, so it's a seat that at the time, they've since changed it, covered Springfield, Morton, like maybe a third to a half of Marple, and then a piece of Radnor.
Okay.
That seat had been held cycles previous by one guy. I won't say his name because I didn't ask him.
Yeah.
But he had it for like a career.
Mm-hmm.
And he was great at it, and everybody knew him,
Yeah.
and everybody loved him, and he took care of everybody. It didn't matter what party, and did great things for all the communities. I mean, to this day, remembers everybody's name in all those towns and like what schools their kids went to.
God bless
he's
him.
a phone book. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
an
I
incredible
love it.
person. So he did that for a career and was a huge part of the communities and was just a great elected leader for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Like, stayed there, didn't go higher, could have, and like helped people.
Mm-hmm.
Did great things. So he retired, and someone took the seat over, ran for it as a Republican, was elected, and I believe they were in for a term or two. And then the seat flipped in 2016 to the person that's in it now, who's a Democrat.
Jenna Mara.
So Jenna Mara.
Yeah.
So and she had I have a ton of respect for what she did. Like she was up against it. And no one knew who she was and didn't have any money and blah, blah, blah. And the wind was at her back and she got in there. So, long story long, fast forward. We're like a year or two out from this election because that's when you have to start these things. It's like a 2-year process.
Are you going to go back?
What do you mean?
Are you going to go try to run for another?
No. But the guy who did it for a career
Right.
came to me. I believe, and I've known him, but I think the thing that put me over the top put me on his radar was I had done this video. I do the Christmas parade.
Yeah.
Which was something in Springfield that like we kind of started. Like
Love it.
My
Yeah,
my
the tree
father and I
lighting.
started, yeah. And like from nothing and like did that. Doesn't do anything for me. I never made $1 off of it, but like I just did it because it was cool and good for the town. But like here, it opened door. Like I had no idea. I never thought that someday people will know who I am because I'm doing this Christmas parade, which started out with like 30 people.
You should
know
get
what
a
I mean?
tip jar.
Yeah. So I had made a commercial for that. It was like the first time I ever did a video where like I was in it and talking to the camera.
Hell yeah.
And I did it because it was going to be like our 100th one or something. And I posted that and it got a lot of traction. And he saw it, right? So he came to me and was like, "Hey, there's nobody that's like, there's people that have expressed interest in running for this seat as a Republican. There's a couple of people whose names are floating around, but like, there's not one person who's like, it's their turn, right? So everyone's kind of like throwing names in a hat." And he was like, "Do you want to do it?" And we were at like a banquet for the firehouse at the time, and he was sitting next to me. And I laughed because I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I'm like 32 years old. I'm a
Right.
teacher, like working in, not even in this area, the
Right.
lower part of Delaware County. I'm like I laugh, and he was looking at me, and I was like, "Oh, you're serious?" And my old man was sitting next to me, and I was like, "Did you hear what he just said?" And my dad was like, "No," and I was like, "Say it again." And he was like, "I think Bob should like get involved in politics and run for office." And he laughed, but he was not as hard as I did.
Right.
And I was like, that means a lot that you would, and I was serious, like that you would suggest that, but like, no thanks.
Right.
Like that's not me. I have no interest in doing that. Like, no thanks. So he called me a couple of times after that and was like, "I really think you should think about it." And it meant a lot. Like this guy, I had a lot, still do have a ton of respect for him. He's an incredible person. So it started to get into my head, and I never was like, I want that job, or I want to do this, or I'm going to get into politics. It was like, you know what? I think I could help people. I think I could do some good. There are some things. The biggest thing for me was like the opioid epidemic. There were things that were issues that were important to me where I was like, more could be done.
Right.
And maybe also like this is we're coming up on 2020. Like this is like peak,
Yeah.
like all the politics.
That
So I'm
was,
like,
that was fentanyl.
but that, and then, but also like the politics, like people were starting to really hate each other. So I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe I could, like, cause I'm
Stop
not
it.
that guy. I'll work with anyone, like just be a good person and like not play the game in terms of this. So I started to think about it. And then the last time that I talked to him, he's like, "All right, there's two other people that it's kind of narrowed down to. And their resumes were like actually really impressive as far as I was concerned. One was a lawyer and was involved in all these different things and had a military background. And the other one was like involved with the school boards and
Jeez.
business. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm 32, 33 years old. I'm a school teacher. And I'm like, there's no shot that who's going to pick me?
Right.
But he said, we're going to get all the people together that would work on this election. So all of the Republican committee people in all of these towns. And we're going to do 2 nights where people are going to the candidates are going to present like their vision, and then all of those people are going to vote, and they're going to pick who the candidate is.
Wow.
So I was like, all right. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this is a cool story. This is a cool story, right? Like I'll say yes to it because they're not going to pick me,
Right.
but it'll be a cool story. Like I'll get to go in this room full of these people, and like I'll just like say what I want to say. Like I'd be this cool story. I'll be able to go like, yo, I gave a speech about how like, we should do like more young people and like focus on like, it just was like, this is a cool story. I'll do that.
No more homework.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right, I'll do that. Right. I'll do that.
Right.
So he's like, all right, great. All right, great. So I get energy. I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm just like, this is a cool story. And we did the 2 nights. I gave speeches, and without getting into like extreme detail, I got picked. And that I didn't tell anyone. I told my wife, my parents. I didn't tell anyone I worked with.
Right.
I didn't tell any of my friends because I thought I was going to lose.
Right.
Which was the point of this, was just to have a cool story that afterwards I would tell everyone that one time that I kind of did politics.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like that. If you've ever had a moment in your life, there's life-changing moments, like kids are born and stuff, where like time stops and you feel like you're like everyone's moving normal speed, and you're like, it was, dude. I remember when they were like, "You are the person," and I went. My thing was like, "What?"
Wow.
And I was like, "You should recount that." And then they were like, "No, it's you." And my second comment was, someone should go explain. I think people voted for me because they were being nice.
Right.
Maybe you should go back and explain to everyone like that too many people did that. And then a guy came over and he's like, "I'm here from the newspaper. I want to take your picture." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what's happening?"
Springfield Press?
No, the Daily Times. I haven't told anyone, dude. So I go to work the next day and people are like, "Dude, you're running for, you're in politics?"
Man.
And I'm like, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, so that's how it started. It was
awesome. So does it leap you into another bracket with money wise? Like, do you get a lot of money for it, or is this like a civil servants? And
if you get the job,
yeah.
If I got the job, I would have been making more money than I was at the time.
I was gonna say, would you have to quit your?
Yeah, you have to quit. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on what you do.
Then you're wearing a suit all day.
I mean, I pretty much.
Dude, in this heat, you couldn't catch me in a suit.
I mean, listen,
I'd be like, what is our governor.
Oh yeah, hoodies and stuff. I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
You don't
t-shirts
really
and-
have to wear a suit.
Yeah,
I
golf
would
shirt
have.
and a pair of shorts.
Pennsylvania is one of the highest paid state legislatures in the country. I'm pretty sure still. So like the salary and all the benefits would have been a really big jump for me at the time. Still would have been a little bit more than I'm making now, money wise. Uh, so it would have been a better job from that aspect. But yeah, you can't, if you have a business, you can run a business
And do this.
because you're going to Harrisburg. I mean, depending on how you do it, right? I think you have to be there like 3 days a week for votes and stuff.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
it's also like seasonal. And then you have offices in the district, and you're
Can't
supposed to
send
be
like
there.
a cardboard cutout of yourself.
No, so people do it. Like you don't have to move there. They drive back and forth,
Yeah.
and all this. And if you have a business, there's a lot of guys that kind of, I believe, still run business and stuff. But I would have had to quit teaching,
Right.
which I didn't really consider because
Right.
I never really was like. I shouldn't say never really, but I didn't think it was ever going to happen. I didn't think I was
Right.
going to get picked. So like after I became the guy, it was like the decision's been made for you.
That's
like
that's
this is what you're
wild.
doing. Yeah. So for the next 2 years, it was like full send. And then
Sometimes-
COVID happened.
Sometimes you wonder, you're like, damn, did I meet the wrong person there?
Yeah.
Are they gonna make me do something stupid?
Well, dude,
And
overnight.
you're not gonna say no.
Right. Well, you can't.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
right.
I mean, you could.
Like,
I could.
I didn't say no to the guy who owns the studio.
Right.
I didn't say no to him.
Right.
I
Imagine
blew
that.
him off. I blew him off for like 5 months.
As did I.
And I was like, shit, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess I'm doing this.
You're right.
But
but-
how fun it became,
Right.
and the amazing people I got to meet.
So it's the same. We had the same. You're having the same experience. Much, I guess, you'll do it longer probably that I did. Like, it didn't bring anything to me. Didn't help me professionally. It probably hindered me, in a number of ways. It didn't make me any money. I had to put my life on pause for 2 years, but it was an invaluable.
Right.
Dude, it was an awesome ride.
Hell yeah.
It was a ton of fun. I got to meet so many incredible people that I wouldn't have met otherwise.
The problem that you went through, you endured, was COVID.
Dude, COVID,
And like
the George Floyd riots.
yeah, having a
It was
a
like the
debate
craziest-
having a debate on a
On Zoom.
choppy ass Zoom.
And now they're that's like a thing.
it was
now.
like
dude, it was. I remember when we found out about COVID, and I'm supposed to be running for this office, and I remember being like, I guess we're done, right? Like, I guess we're done. What do we do? Are we just done?
No, smack a mask
And
on.
they're like,
and-
yeah. They're like, nah, I mean, we'll figure it out. And I
Yeah.
was like, all right. And then it was like, what are the rules? And dude, it was wild. It's probably one of the wildest periods in the history of this country to like have run for anything.
Oh yeah.
And then it was like, I'm doing all this. And then it was like, it was Trump and Biden. And I was my race was one of the most important races in the state because it was considered a seat that the party felt like they should have. So it was like a get back one. And the Democrats didn't want to lose because they had it and they shouldn't. And then Pennsylvania is one of the most important states. And so it was like, dude, I'm getting phone calls and meeting with people that, like it was just.
The black suits come and they're
Yeah,
like,
dude.
hey, get ready.
It was
But,
wild.
hey, appreciate you talking
Dude,
about your
thanks.
path today.
Yeah. I love what you're doing.
So you brought up something that kind of resonated, where I don't want to ask this question anymore about what would you say to your former 16-year-old self, because that is not us anymore in this day and age.
Yeah.
What would you tell the aspiring class of 2026 coming up
Mhm.
next year? You're getting ready to go out into the world. The
Yeah.
real world, whether you go to college, that's real world because you're
Mhm.
on your own. No,
Yeah.
no mommy, no daddy.
Yeah.
They might Venmo you, but they ain't there for bad situations. Or you're going to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what kind of piece of information can these kids take with them to find their purpose, or at least try to find their purpose?
Right.
Yeah, because you're not going to find it in the
Nah.
first day. And if you do,
Dude,
amazing.
I still don't know.
Yeah.
Like you said.
40 years old, I still don't know.
I think it's all the things that we talked about. Like I try and like mash them together and hit them as often as I can. But like generally, like understand. I believe firmly that your reputation and how you treat people is important.
Mhm.
And I think that if you move through this world treating people well or being selfish and treating people poorly, ultimately that may benefit you short term, but like it all catches up with you long term. right? So understand that like the way you move through the world and the way you treat people and the way that you're perceived is important, and it may benefit you down the line in ways that you can't comprehend now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important. The second thing is like and it's a lot of cliche stuff, like don't be afraid to fail. Like failure really is the best way to learn a skill, to learn what you do want to do, what you don't want to do, who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Are you someone that quits? One of the best things in my life was like failing, not getting those teaching jobs, and like realizing that like I was like, I'm going 100% at this thing that I don't even know I want to do. Right. Same thing with like the election. Like I was like, okay, we're doing this.
Right.
We're going to do it 100%. Right. And so like that I didn't have that confidence in myself until I failed at things.
Right.
It was when I realized like I do have a beast in there that I didn't even know about, like that I started to get confident in myself. You know what I mean? So like be okay with failing. Don't feel like you have to figure out or have everything figured out by the time you're 20. It's okay. But that doesn't mean do nothing and wait for everything to fall together. Momentum is important. Like be out there doing stuff, right? That creates opportunities. Be seen, be visible, work on things. And then finally, like don't believe the people that tell you that money doesn't matter. Okay. They're full of shit.
Right.
But money isn't everything. Find something that you can do with your life that makes you happy and that gives you a sense of purpose where you can also support your family comfortably.
Yeah.
That would be where I'm at right now.
Wow, that's amazing advice.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, tell the camera, how can somebody get into volunteer firefighters in their areas?
Dude, sweet plug.
What do you?
You're a genius.
How do you do it?
You're really good at this.
I'm not good at it.
No, you're really good. That wasn't even on my radar. That's a great thing that I should be doing. Yeah. If you live in a community where there is a volunteer fire company, different volunteer fire companies might have different ages that they take people. But if you live in an area where there's a volunteer fire company, hey, get involved, right? Pretty much every one of them has a website now. They have a Facebook page. Just go on Google, type in whatever town that you live in, that fire company's name, drop them an email, give them a phone call, or just show up.
I was
there
going
one
to
night a
say,
week.
show up and actually
say
have
hi.
a conversation.
Yeah, show up. I mean, that's the best way
Give
to
them
do
flowers.
it. Yeah. And like, listen, you don't have to be, it's an awesome thing to do because it's a home away from home. It's a network of people that you can learn things from that have nothing to do with the fire service. It's an opportunity business-wise, career-wise, networking. And it's something where you can give back. You don't have to, not everybody has to be kicking down doors and swinging axes. Yeah. You know, you can be involved and help them run their books and do whatever. And those things are immeasurable and important to the community. So definitely get involved. Everybody needs people.
That's awesome.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, awesome. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. Hey, Young Junk has a move going on. Yeah. Dylan.
What do we got?
We're going to be missing Dylan. He's going on to bigger and better things.
Shout out to Dylan.
Yeah. Dylan, it's been a pleasure, buddy. I have to tell you.
I just met Dylan, but he's amazing.
Watching you back there, I loved it. Every bit of it.
Killing it, dude.
I really appreciate everything.
Makes us look good.
I know. His production is satisfying.
Shout out to Dylan.
I hope that you go to a big company. Bring me with you. Sorry, Terry. Terry's gonna bust through the wall.
That's
I'm kidding. Hey, dude.
That's great.
Really appreciate working with you the last couple months. It was awesome. You really definitely calmed me down during my production of doing these shows. Got me a little bit better. Got me a prompter, which was awesome. I appreciate that. I think you did that for me.
Super legit.
So, hey, thank you so much. Thank you, Young Junk. Appreciate studio time. And we are out and can't wait to catch you next time. Have a great day.
Young John!